Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on this Monday morning as we continue looking at the Psalms of ha-yil. Today we are looking again at Psalm 118. Psalm 118 is interesting because it's used in its entirety in ha-yil from verses 1 to 29. So we end up having a lot of songs that come out. The most interesting thing to me is the imagery of Psalm 118. A lot of the imagery has to do with triumph and victory and military might, leading some scholars to believe that this was a psalm that was used when we actually returned from exile and were able to enter the temple and perform sacrifices again as we had in days of old. So the texts that I'm going to focus on are from verses 15 through 16. In the English they read, "In the tents of the righteous, voices resound with song and triumph. God's right arm is like an army. God's right arm is upraised. God's right arm is like an army." The idea of God's right arm, yamin Adonai, is actually a quote or a reference to the Song of the Sea that we read in Exodus, where we talked about yamincha Adonai, God, your right hand, tiratz oyev, destroyed our enemy. So again, that imagery comes from there. The melody is, of course, joyous and thankful, but I also think of this not just as triumph and military victory, but also the idea of protection. God's right arm is the arm that brought us out of Egypt. There's this idea of it being protecting and saving limb. So let's sing together. It's a very fun melody. Kol rinah vi-shu'ah be'ohalei tzadikim. 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 Yamin Adonai osah ha-yil. Yamin Adonai romemah. Yamin Adonai osah ha-yil. Osah ha-yil. Yamin Adonai osah ha-yil. Yamin Adonai romemah. Yamin Adonai osah ha-yil. Osah ha-yil. Kol rinah vi-shu'ah be'ohalei tzadikim. 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 Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next week.